Welcome, Lucia. It's really lovely to sit down with you today and chat to you about the business traineeship that you completed through MiTraining in Perth with statewide bearings.
Yeah.
To kick off today, I'd love to hear more about your background and what motivated you to pursue a business traineeship.
Yeah. So I finished year 12 at the end of last year. And like one of the main questions is, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Year 10 onwards. And I was like, genuinely, I have no clue. I might be stuck working at Macca's. So me and mum both sat down and we started looking at different things that I wanted to do. And she brought up, oh, what about a traineeship? So I was like, oh, yeah, that's good. Get on the job experience, qualifications out of it. And then hopefully we're hoping we could find a company that would take me on afterwards, which I was lucky enough I have. So we applied for the role, went through the general interview stuff, and then I started with Statewide. So I wasn't really sure what area I wanted to do. I wanted to really do anything because I had no idea what I wanted to do, and I didn't want to be stuck working somewhere I didn't like or I wasn't interested in. So I started with Statewide and I'm doing my 2-year traineeship through MIGAS. So Cert 3 in business, Cert 4 in HR. So I just finished my Cert 3 last week and I'm now starting my Cert 4. Hopefully in a couple of weeks I'll get my units, which is really exciting. And nothing in particular motivated me, but the one thing would be to have a good workplace and a good training support system to get me through. And reading about Statewide and MIGAS and what they do, I was like, I think this is for me. And I just thought, why not give it a go? And then I've turned out to love it. So yeah.
Amazing. And congratulations, because a
Thank
traineeship
you.
is often a 12-month kind of earning while you're learning
Yep.
and you're in training, and you've just
Mhm.
secured a job with Statewide. So well done.
Yep.
And you're going to do another
Thank
traineeship
you.
with a Cert 4, which
Yep.
is
Yep.
fantastic. So let's
Mhm.
just kind of go back a bit because we're at the end now.
Mhm.
Let's start at the
Yep.
beginning. Tell me
Yep.
a little bit about the work that you do for Statewide.
Yep. So I'm a HR trainee, and we have over 450 employees nationwide. So lots of branches, lots of different things. So we have like SWE Group, which you'll see on my logo. Then you have like Statewide Bearings, Linear, Plus. So it drops down to a few different companies. So the HR team consists of myself, the trainee, and my boss Vicky. So there's only two of us for over 450 employees. So it's lots of work. So general, I look after uniforms. I look after the other trainees to make sure they're doing okay because I can understand their work they're doing. So if they have any questions, I can be like, oh, look here, look there. Um, Onboarding, I do a lot of CCADs for us and hiring new employees, letter of offers, policy creation and implementation, workplace health and safety, which is a big one at the moment that we're trying to get everyone more like wearing steel caps, following the right procedures, stuff like that, because we have the offices and then we have the warehouse that have the stock. What else do I do? General emails. There's a whole range of things. We look after so many people. Every day is different. What gets thrown at us, like we have resignations, we have people workplace claims, we have literally anything. So I do a big range of things, but my main things are like general admin behind the scene tasks to keep everyone running and going. Yeah.
What an amazing foundation for your future HR career.
Yeah.
Getting such a variety of experience, particularly in that generalist role, as you
Mhm.
said, different things every day. I'm
Yeah.
going to go out on a bit of a limb here and make an assumption that you probably didn't have an experience in this
No,
particular
I've
area.
had no experience. So previously I was working at Macca's and I did two certs through them, actually retail and retail management. And I had no experience, never stepped foot in like a business setting, nothing like that. So I came in straight from school, month after I finished, and I was like, oh my God, what have I got myself into? But it's turned out to be one of the best things. I love it. And I get so much experience that not many people would get. And I get training at the same time, which is really, really good.
So take me back to your first day, or maybe even your first few months. What got you
Yep.
through? How did you take on all that new learning and training?
Yeah, so first day, obviously, I come in, introduced to everyone, did my induction, which I now do for new employees, which is sort of crazy because I got one done and now I do it for everyone else. And then came in, they settled me in, explained what I would be doing to start off with some little things. And I got straight into it, like answering emails, like learning about the company, things like that, had a presentation. And then what got me through is just staying calm and realizing that I'm learning and I'm not going to know everything, and that's okay. And having the support of my managers, which is really good. They're very supportive. And in our office, we have a wide range of departments because we're head office. And honestly, having them there to get me through because they're most supportive people. It's not your general workplace where everyone's quiet and like quiet, does their own work. Like we are loud. Like they just welcomed me in straight away and got me to feel comfortable. So that made me feel really good. And probably what got me through my first few months, everyone being so nice, and definitely the support from my managers as well. And knowing that I'm learning. So if I don't know something, it's okay to ask. Yeah.
Oh, such a couple of really important principles there. Being patient with yourself while you learn, and knowing that you just don't know anything, everything, so you can reach out to other people to help you.
Yeah.
So just for those listening today, my gas apprentices and trainees would have put you through the recruitment
Yes.
process.
Yeah.
It seems like they did such a great job in
They
recruiting
did a
you.
really good job. Yeah, they were so good onto it. Everything I needed, supported me through the whole interview process, rung me before, rung me after, like very, very good. And then I have the support of Julianne, who's my field officer. She's really good. She's always checking in on me, making sure all good. If I need anything, which is good. So I have a lot of support, which is I'm very grateful for as well.
Absolutely. It's so great. They've picked a great person for that team. It sounds like you just fit in so well to that
Thank you.
culture. And then, yeah, Julianne supporting you from the very beginning right through to the completion of your traineeship.
Yeah.
And then doing the Certificate 3 in Business through MiTraining, which is the sister company
Yes.
to MiGas,
Hmm.
and then getting
Yeah.
support there too. So this holistic support with your managers from Statewide, all there kind of helping you to be successful and thrive in the
Yeah.
role, which is really wonderful.
Definitely.
I'm
Yeah.
really curious about any challenges that or barriers that you encountered that you need to kind of overcome, and how did you do it?
Yeah, so I'm actually diagnosed with ADHD and a specific learning disorder, which is like a wide range of different things in combination. So a learning environment for me can be quite difficult. And going straight from school to like having a teacher there guiding you on top of you to going to an online system where it was sort of self-guided, obviously with the support from my training trainers, which was really good, was quite challenging, and getting used to managing a workload and schoolwork. I'm obviously used to just having the one. Um, and that was probably the biggest challenge, was adjusting, but having the support, and especially from my parents as well, just being like, it's okay, you've got this, like everyone's like human, you learn. So that was probably the biggest challenge for me. And then the thing that helped me would be making to-do lists, reaching out, being like, hey, I actually don't know and I'm struggling to manage it. Can you help me? And then being like, of course. So yeah, that was probably my biggest challenge, I would say, is adapting to going online and having two different workloads. But obviously, I'm lucky
Yeah.
enough to have a lot of support. So yeah.
Oh, thank you for letting us know that. Competing priorities, having a workplace and then studying is probably one of the most challenging things that you can
Yes,
do as a new
definitely.
learner. And also, you're just new to the workplace as well. I
Definitely.
loved that you were vulnerable and that you would go to your manager and say, hey, these are my priorities and
Yeah.
I need help. What should I do first? Because that's why
Yeah.
they're there, to help you with that.
Definitely, yes. I'm very lucky. I have very good support from my managers. So Vicky, who's HR and marketing, and then we also have our general manager Russell, and we have Dave, who's national sales. So they're very, very good in our head office. And then over east, I also have our operations manager Michael, who he's always like checking in how you're going, like asking if I need any help, things like that, which is really, really lucky because I know everyone doesn't get that.
Exactly. Um, I'm going to get to the really exciting part
Hmm.
about the recent announcement of you being
Yeah.
a semi-finalist for the
Yeah.
Western Australian Training Awards. Tell me a
Yeah.
little bit about that process.
Yeah, so Julianne and Vicky were a little bit sneaky behind the scenes. They did some research and they're like, oh, we think this is good for Lou. So one day I was at work, received an email. I was like, huh, what's this about? And they nominated for me to go forward, which I was like, oh my God, like, you think I can do this? I was like, oh, wow. So Julianne came in that day, sat down with Vicky. They spoke to me, asked me like if I would like to do it. Obviously they're like, you don't have to, and they're like, we nominated you, we think you're a really good candidate, and they're like, you're doing really well. It's like, oh my God, thank you. So I chose to do it, and we had to do an application process first. So you answer a big range of questions, lots of paragraphs, wanting to know about you, your traineeship, anything about you, what you've previously done, and you submit that. And then we found out last week that I am a semi-finalist for WA, which is really exciting because not every day you get to be a semi-finalist for the state, and for something that I was so scared about doing, which now I turned out to love, which is really good. So I found out, and I have an interview, which is slightly terrifying, but also I'm really excited to do. Yes, I'm a semi-finalist, and I get to talk about my cert work, my business traineeship, and that I my story basically of where I've come from, what I'm doing now, and what I hope to do in the future. Good.
That is incredible. Congratulations. I
Thank
love that
you.
you're so honest about, how scary it was to enter this
Yeah.
and then even to go through this process and not being sure whether it's for you, but clearly it is. You're a semi-finalist. You're going to be there on the night.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think stands out about you as a candidate for that particular award?
I, I feel like it would be my determination just do it, and being like, yeah, I face these challenges, but you only live once, so you get to just put yourself forward. And working in a workplace and doing the training at the same time, so managing two and getting that hands-on experience most likely would set me apart, because get different experience if you were just at TAFE, completing the cert, you don't get the practical side as well,
Yeah.
which I'm very lucky I get practical side. Yeah, just I think being me as well, because I'm not the same as every other person going to uni, going to TAFE. Like, yeah, I'm not too sure what would set me apart, but I'm hoping that my determination towards it and all the work that I put in will.
Great qualities, determination. And I can see that you have such a special set of strengths yourself. And I love it's just such a really inspirational message to everyone out there who's thinking about doing a business trainee, that you can be yourself and you
Yeah,
can overcome challenges in the workplace. And it's okay,
definitely.
to let people know about those challenges
Hmm.
because they're there to help.
Definitely.
Did you
Yeah,
disclose
definitely.
that you had ADHD and learning challenges at the
Yeah,
very
so
beginning?
mhm. Yeah, so I did, and then in my application I did as well. And I feel like them reading that, because I wrote that how challenging it can be, not in work and everyday tasks, and how I've had to adapt, but I've overcome it. And obviously it can be very hard at times, and you feel like you want to give up, but just keeping going and just being like, it's okay. Like, everyone goes through this. You're not the only person, and probably letting everyone know who's in a similar situation to me, like, it's okay to feel scared, to not know what you want to do. So just to let them know, just do it, take that risk. You never know what's going to happen, because I did that and I now love my job.
I can't believe it. It's like
Yeah,
people say, feel the fear and do it anyway.
yeah, yeah,
And that's what you've
definitely.
done. And look at the rewards now. You love your job and you are being recognized for the great work that you're doing and
Yeah.
for overcoming those challenges that you have in the workplace. That's amazing. I want to ask you about your real world experience because you
Hmm.
said a traineeship is completely different to just going to TAFE and doing the learning. You're getting hands-on experience and you're actually being able to apply that qualification learning to the
Definitely.
workplace. How has that
Yeah.
helped you to gain kind of real world skills?
Yeah, so I found when completing my certificate, the units I was doing was matching up with the work that I was completing at that time. For example, doing complex documents, we were writing new policies, things like that. So I found that my traineeship has prepared me in many ways. So it's like I obviously get practical experience, get to work in an office, get to see what that's like. Definitely problem solving skills, so solving issues that arise every day, time management, so managing more than one task at a time, and say For example, when I finish my traineeship, instead of having cert work, I might have one big project and little things happening. So knowing how to manage those and how to work through it. Professional communication, because obviously I can communicate professionally, and sometimes if you're doing at TAFE, you wouldn't get to interact with managers, etc., and then you might go to a job and not know exactly how to communicate. So definitely that's one of the big things, like writing emails, letters, things like that. Adaptability, adapting to different things getting thrown at you. You might be in the middle of something, but something urgent comes up, you got to do that. It's like you just have to stop and adapt, and you go back to it. Probably like my resilience as well. Obviously being busy, different things happening, just being like, it's okay that's happened. You're human, it can change. So definitely having that hands-on experience has prepared me to go into different roles. It's given me a broad range of things, because it's not like I just come in and sell something, that's all I do, go home 8 till 4. Like I do so many different things. I get to speak to people over East, I get to speak to different companies, meet suppliers. So yeah.
I love those skills that you've outlined, particularly adaptability and resilience, both so critical for the future of any employee. And it's amazing that you're getting those at your workplace. And thank you that you pointed out that your training, so you're learning the Certificate 3 in business, actually reinforced those skills for you in the workplace and just happened to line up
it did.
with
It
what
was
you're doing at
honestly
work.
crazy.
Yeah, that's no coincidence. That's, how a traineeship is meant to work. And I'm just so pleased that it's kind of worked out for you in that way. I've got 2 more questions to ask you, and then we'll wrap it up for today. I want to ask you about your advice for someone considering applying for a traineeship, and they can do that by going to the MIGAS website, MIGAS spelled MIGAS, and there you'll find lots of vacancies for business trainees. So what would you say to them, Lucia?
Honestly, just do it. Like, no matter how scared you are, I was terrified. To be honest, when I first got it, I was like, I don't want to do it. What did I get myself into? But once I got here, got settled in, I was like, no, it's actually okay. And it's okay to not feel okay about doing it. But once you get your foot in the door and you just get in and do it, it's like this feeling of, wow, I've done it. And you just feel so good. And to also embrace learning opportunities, and so practical and like your theory work. So obviously you get to learn online, you get to learn in the office. So making sure you try and absorb that and just see what's around you, because it's not every day that you get to be in an opportunity where you get both hands-on and theory experience. So taking that in as well. If you do go with the business traineeship, to make sure you stay organized and manage your time effectively, because it can get quite hard and can get busy, because as you obviously stay with your company, you get more tasks thrown at you. So making sure you stay organized is definitely a big thing. And if you're not organized, or if you're struggling to complete it, reach out to your managers. They'll be okay to help, or your field officer, and they will help you. Or for example, your assessor online, they will help you, guide you through it. You're not alone. And just make sure, honestly, have fun. You balance your life, your work, your study, and your home life. So make sure you have fun. So one thing with me is I'm lucky enough to have time to complete my cert work at work. So it means I can leave it at work. And when I go home, just relax and go hang out with your friends or your family. Do something that makes you happy. And then so you come in each day with a new mindset. And you're like, yes, let's get onto it, no matter how busy you are. Make sure, build networks as well. I find that's a really good thing. Build relationships. So just honestly, you might be so scared, because I can be very shy. It might not come across as it now. I can be quite shy. Definitely when I started, I didn't speak to anyone. But once you start that first conversation, you build a relationship with them, and it just flourishes from there. So just make sure you talk, you have fun, stay organized, and just do it. Honestly, just do it.
Amazing. Great advice for anyone considering a business traineeship straight after school as well. Take that leap of faith and go on and apply.
Yes.
Now we're kind of at the end of the interview. I want to end where we sort of started at the beginning, which is you entering into the Cert 4 and kind of completing one part of your traineeship, moving into another. What does the future hold for you, Lucia?
So I'm completing my Cert 4 Hopefully I'll get those units in a few weeks, which will be really exciting. And then after that, hopefully with Statewide, I'll have a full-time job with them, which will be really good in HR. Not exactly sure what my title will be, but I'm definitely looking at doing some more qualifications, so even a diploma, going higher than that, so extending my knowledge while also being at work. So I found that's worked best for me while doing my online training and having that experience, because it just balances it out. And you get it. So say you're sick of your training for the day, you can just go back and do some work, or if you're having a hard time at work, and go do your training. So breaking it up like that definitely helps. So I'm hoping for the future for me, it's career in HR or admin, even general manager, because I honestly love doing like the behind the scenes work. I don't need to be recognized, but just making sure the company runs and all the little things are done, helping people, making sure they're okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Lucia. Your future sounds incredibly bright. And I love that you've just pointed out that it's all about lifelong learning, continuing
Yes.
to add to your learning through different qualifications and making a difference to the company in which you work. So
Definitely.
thank you. It's been a pleasure chatting to you
You
today, hearing
too. Thank
about your
you.
lovely story, your experience, overcoming the challenges. And I do want to point out for our audience, as the manager of the RTO myself, I do know that you did exceptionally well with your studies
Thank
and you were
you.
very quick at moving through the content. So well done on just getting
Thank
into
you.
it and
Thank
doing a
you.
great job. As we wrap up, I'd love to say thank you to Statewide Bearings as a host employer of MIGAS for supporting you throughout your traineeship and helping you to settle in and just feel, you know, to be yourself and to thrive in that environment. So thank you, Statewide Bearings. Thank you, MIGAS, and also a shout out to your trainer, Dave, at MiTraining as well.
Yes,
Thanks,
definitely.
Lucia. All the very best
No
with the
worries.
training awards. We'll absolutely be celebrating and hoping every success for you, and take care.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.